Hey, Cheska.
Yes?
Is Disney World worth it? Oh, hello.
Hello.
How's it going? Sorry we missed last week. We have been busy, A, traveling, and B, compiling an insane amount of footage because we have spent the last month plus in and around Central Florida.
Which we love because while our hometowns were getting covered in ice and snow, we were enjoying the warmth of Florida. And the beaches and the sunshine. And
we've been to 11 beaches in the last 6 weeks.
I feel so glad to have spent the winter in Florida.
So true.
It's so nice.
So when I think of Central Florida, I think of Orlando, I think of Disney World. And Disney World is amazing. Disney World is why most people go to that area. However, we spent 6 weeks there because we have family there, and it was my mom's 60th birthday.
Yeah.
We had my birthday, we had my mom's birthday, we had family around, and so we did a lot of stuff. And we want to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
Because we have learned that there is a lot going on in Central Florida. And you will run out of money before you run out of stuff to do.
What are we doing, bro?
We're going to Disney World.
And how are we getting there?
Apparently we're going the back way. We are just following what Google Maps told us to do, and we just passed by Disney University and the transportation depot. And let's just say this part doesn't look like Disney World.
No, it does not.
I feel like we're somewhere we're not supposed to be.
But it's really cool because we get this back door view of Disney World. So this is the back side, breaking the magic here, of Space Mountain. Right there, you can see it. And there's the castle right there. Yay!
So is Disney World worth it?
Of course it is!
We didn't stage that at all.
Yes, we did. So are we here for the kids or for you two?
Well, if you're gonna be here, you might as well have some fun. Let's go.
To answer the previous clickbaity question, of course Disney's worth it.
Of course Disney's always worth it. I love Disney so much.
Why do you love Disney, Cheska? Tell the people!
Oh, I love Disney so much because I just love it inside my own heart. But I think it's so special when you take your children and they get to we only did Magic Kingdom this go around, but it was just so worth it when they're really tiny like that and they get to see the people, see the princesses, see Winnie the Pooh, and get to ride the rides that are really designed for them, and they don't kind of get excluded or left out from some rides that happen sometimes at other theme parks. It makes it really special. I liked it. I thought we had a really wonderful time, and of course the fireworks at the end, and it really is a magical place. I love it so much.
Yeah. Watching it through Isaac's eyes was just incredible. He just wants to be taller now so that he can ride a roller coaster, which is just the cutest thing in the world.
Always so sweet.
Disney World does everything right. It is a smooth experience.
Magic.
So fine-tuned for a magical experience. And I just love all of it. But I think that we learned a valuable lesson on this trip, and that is, I think Universal Studios might be more broadly appealing to your family?
Yeah, so I think kind of depends on like your family and their ages, but we were looking for a place that we could go with a larger group with kids and then all the way up to like, well, 60-year-old. And so we chose Universal Islands, and I was a little skeptical about that at first because when you think of Universal, you think of it as a theme park that's a little bit more geared toward older kids and then adults. But they had so much fun, and I think it was actually a really good fit if you have a family with like a lot of different ages and people that kind of want to do different things. We didn't do Universal Studios, we just did Islands, but it was a wonderful day. The Dr. Seuss area was so much fun for the kids.
Yep.
They were able to do multiple rides. Hannah and I had a wonderful time in Harry Potter World. We just kind of like geeked out.
But Hannah's 7, and she got to ride the Hippogriff roller coaster, and she got to ride the Harry Potter 3D ride. So there is a lot going on there for younger kids.
Yeah. And then she did the, I think she did Spider-Man. But when all that was happening, we kind of like broke off into some different groups, and some of the adults went and did some of like the new like Velocicoaster.
I got to ride the Velocicoaster, and let me tell you, that's worth the price of admission.
Yeah. We did the Hulk. We did, they kind of broke off and did the Hagrid's motorbike. And so we were able to kind of break off. We took the kids to the Jurassic Park area, and they got to do the playground there, which is so cool. I'd never done that before because as an adult, you're like trying to get on all the roller coasters. That was a really neat stop in the middle of the park for them to just burn off some energy, and it was super magical.
There are entire sections of the park that we had just never noticed before, and it was great. There was a lot of fun stuff, and our kids, they slept well that night.
I thought Universal was a huge win. It was really fun for like a big group of us.
And Hogwarts in general was just magical for our kids.
It's just always magical.
But also, because I love all the Harry Potter world stuff, like that's just an immersive area. But I was surprised at how much the Dr. Seuss section had that feel for kids.
So true. It was a really good time.
Yep.
I loved it.
All right, so let's do a few pros and cons. Disney pros and cons.
Disney pros. Your kids can ride most of their rides, and I just feel like it's just really family friendly, and you can take your stroller and you can park it, and honestly I'm not really worried that anyone's gonna take it because like I don't want nobody else's stroller. I truly believe that the Genie Plus and the Lightning Lanes are worth it because it just makes it, when you have kids and they're really hard, like younger kids, and it's hard to wait in line. It's a pro and a con because you have to pay for it, but then you can get on the rides a lot quicker and you're not like having to deal with really impatient children. And then you can like order your food on your phone. I just feel like it makes like what you said, it like pro is that things just are really easy. Speaking of doing things on like your off days, is that one of the things I think is really neat about Disney is that we actually did go down to Disney to visit some friends that were staying down there, but we didn't go into the park. If you do the Mickey's, Chef Mickey's, it's at the Contemporary, then you can park at the Contemporary, and then you can get right on the monorail, and you can ride the monorail, which is like fun for our kids just as is. You can eat at the restaurants there, you can go to the shops there, and you're not having to pay to actually go in the park, and yet it feels like like the Polynesian was so cool. You can go into the Grand Floridian. Disney, what I liked about Disney too is that, especially if you have a kid and you have a stroller, you can like pack like a bunch of food. You can take you can take a case of waters if you wanted to. Like they're super lenient about what they let you in the park with. Universal's a little bit more,
but we still got in with everything.
Yeah, but we didn't take as much.
It's true.
Another pro is that, and another con is that there's just all the different parts of Disney, so you really can kind of pick what you feel like is going to be best for you and your family. But then again, that's a con because you go to Magic Kingdom and your daughter really loves Elsa and Anna, and you know what? They don't live over at Magic Kingdom. They live over in Epcot where you have to pay a whole nother ticket. So,
And you have young kids, so, the Hollywood Studios may not be the best fit, but I am a child and I want to go to the Star Wars place. But here's the thing. Obviously, Disney's magical. Disney's incredible. I think, for me, the con just really boils down to two things. One, there's a ton of people.
Yeah, that part's true.
And here's the other thing. It's a lot of money. If you have got the financial resources, it is worth the investment to take your kids there a couple times in your life. But I will challenge you on this. Even with how much I love Disney, the one thing that I always think about whenever I come away from it, because apparently I'm turning into a dad. I'm like a Progressive commercial. If the last time you took your family on a big vacation, you took them to Disney World, do the math and think of all of the places literally in the world that you could take your family for the same price as a week at Disney.
Yeah, weeks of Disney, they do add up. They do add up a lot.
I know.
So speaking of Disney being quite expensive, a valuable lesson that we have learned is that experiences usually that we just enjoy them more, and we feel like our kids do too, than just like objects. And so a lot of times for Christmases or birthdays, we will ask for experience gifts or gift cards or money to go towards something kind of like a trip, and that allows us to be able to kind of do some different things like Disney or like Silver Dollar City versus a toy that they play with for a little bit and then kind of gets shoved in a drawer. Now we've had this opportunity, and this, like, we've had pictures of it, we can reflect on it. It's kind of just a really fun time all together. And so that's just something that I don't know, it's always been a high priority, I think, for us, even just as adults. So
I think we've already basically covered Universal, but just to list it out, Universal is a lot more fun for everyone in every age.
especially if you're all going together.
Yeah. The peak rides, I would argue, are way better at Universal than at Disney.
They are.
Cons, I would say, honestly, it's still very expensive and still very busy.
Yeah.
And while I absolutely love it, it's not the fine-tuned machine that Disney is. Like, you notice that you're waiting in line a lot more than you do when you're at Disney.
We didn't do like the Fast Pass. I don't know what it's called. It is really pricey, and I honestly don't know if it would have been worth it, because a lot of those like Fast Pass lines, they just seemed really long and they weren't really going very quickly.
Our resident expert, Kate, Aunt Kate, knows more about Universal than anybody. I don't know. I'm gonna commit to it. Kate says it's not worth it, so I trust Kate more than anything else in this scenario, because she's been a lot of times.
I would also say that if you can go to a Disney, or if you can go to a theme park in Central Florida in the winter, do it, because it is a lot more comfortable than going in the summer where it is really hot.
Yeah. So in conclusion, spoiler alert, we liked Disney World and Universal.
We love theme parks,
We
and
do.
we could have spent like a whole week at each one of them.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to go to SeaWorld, which is supposedly amazing,
Yeah.
and Busch Gardens down in Tampa, which we almost went to, which is supposedly amazing. I don't know about you, but I feel like we're people that we like to do the big intense things, and then we kind of like to take a break.
Yep.
Because, you know, Disney and Universal is a lot, and if you want to be able to have a longer vacation, you don't want to, you know, exhaust the whole family to the point where, you know, Disney isn't fun anymore. And so tune in next week and we will tell you all sorts of other fun things to do in Central Florida.
We love Central Florida. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
I miss it because I'm cold.
I know it's cold right now. Should we tell them to like and subscribe? Tell your grandma we like doing these videos, and make other people watch them. Tell us what we can do better in the comments below.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions or your other opinions and tips about Disney, because we're going to go back someday, because my mom lives down there. And so give us tips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we say bye now?
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to say,
All right.
just one. I don't know if you'll even
Here,
use this.
closer. All right, closer. Closer. Closer.